Hello everyone, and welcome back. So, we are planning on going to game number 1 very soon between Slang Bros and Easy Blues in the Swarm. Just waiting for the final few people to join the lobby, so draft should be happening relatively soon. Hopefully the last few people are able to come in shortly, and then we can get started. But before that, I will just kind of introduce the two teams. So if we're looking over on the division Nexus, we have Slang Bros currently sitting in 4th with 24 points, and Easy Blues on the Swarm sitting 7th with 21 points. So if Easy Blues on the Swarm are able to get a domination, they will be tied in points with Slang Bros and Duritan's Couch. But Slang Bros have 4 more games won than Easy Blues and the Swarm. So if they are able to get that 2-0, they will still be behind. They will still be below Slang Bros, so they won't be able to take 4th place. But they will get pushed up all the way to 6th, so they can move a couple slots here. But now, if we look at it in the other direction, if Slang Bros is able to get a domination and does need a domination to get 3 extra points, they will be winning that tiebreaker against a solid school. And that'll bring them up to 3rd place. Now, both of these two teams are pretty comfortably in the playoffs. Easy Blues and the Swarm is a little bit worse off. If they do get 2-0 today, Heavy Hitters is in 8th place, might be able to go ahead of them, and Team Happy Cloud could also surpass them if they are able to get that domination in their series later this week. Against Boomer Gaming, though, so it is going to be a little bit more... So it is going to be a little bit difficult. Now we're still waiting on one more player. And for those of you who were not aware, the new patch has come out. So with this new patch, there is going to be a lot of characters that are really different. Like Blaze has gotten mega nerfed. Vala has gotten mega nerfed. A lot of the core meta heroes have been nerfed. So it is going to be pretty interesting to see how these two teams are going to be able to adapt. TZ over on the side of Easy Blues and the Swarm, a huge Diablo main, so I think they should still be okay. I don't think Diablo got hit too hard. But it is going to change the meta, and since the patch just came out today, I don't know how much either of these two teams have been playing over on PTR. But being able to quickly adapt or being able to prep ahead of time is really going to go far into the series today. We are still waiting on one more person. Hopefully they do come join soon. It is almost 15 minutes past start time. As the two teams are kind of discussing this patch right now in the lobby. I'm not going to show lobby chat. I do think it's best for the players never to have it shown, just kind of so they feel more comfortable before going into the game. Not necessarily that they're saying anything bad or anything like that. It's just gotta have the privacy, you know? Oh, as the 10th player did just join. So we should be heading into draft momentarily. But this should be a very close series. Both of these two teams, like I said, only 3 points apart. So it's really gonna come down to who's gonna be able to play better today. Who has read the patch notes first of all, and who was kind of able to apply it the fastest. We have seen some very interesting combos coming out already. In our last series, we did see the Nova Hanzo picked up by both sides, or picked up, and that was such an insanely good combo. Being able to utilize the armor reduction from the Nova to help with the burst coming out from the Hanzo, they were able to absolutely trash whoever was the frontliner at the time. Hopefully we'll be able to see something interesting, something new here today. As it does seem we are getting into map number 1. Oh, a little bit early, but here we go. Okay, we are in Tomb of the Spider Queen. So, gonna be Slang Bros versus Easy Blues and the Swarm. Now, a couple things I do expect is, well, TZ is a very known Diablo player. I expect to see that banned out by Slang Bros. Or alternatively, if the Diablo is not banned, I wouldn't be surprised to see it picked up by Slang Bros, as I do believe they have first pick here. And Easy Blues in the Swarm could also decide to just lock in the garage, or like ban away the garage, so they're able to have a more free Diablo game. The first few bans are now coming out. Mephisto banned out by Slang Bros, and Lucio banned out by Easy Blues in the Swarm. Now the Lucio ban makes sense to me. Lucio is just a very good healer, and if you do have someone on your team that is good at Lucio, it's so hard to play into it. However, the Mephisto ban, I do think it's a bit strange to have it first phase. I think he is a good character. He definitely has a couple situations in which he's very powerful, but as a first ban, there must be a huge respect coming out from one of these players. I'm not sure who is the Mephisto player on the side of Easy Blues in the Swarm, but that must be a respect ban. As we do see Rhaegar going to be the first pick for Slang Bros. Maiev also banned out by Easy Blues in the Swarm, but an instant response with the Junkrat and Twinhead. Oh, Junkrat. It's one of those heroes I love to watch. I hate to play against, but I also love to play because so much damage, so much control, and just so annoying to deal with. A good Junkrat's just one of the worst things to play against. Now the Cassia and Thrall also going to get locked in by Slang Bros, and Cassia is one of those heroes that has definitely benefited in this latest patch. Was picked and banned both games in our last series, and looks like it's going to be 3 for 3 with this series as Sovereign locks in the Cassia. Mostly have been seeing the Light Fury build, so is a very interesting adaptation to this new patch, as Medivh also going to get banned away by Easy Blues in the Swarm. And the Stitches, very quick pick and ban this time around. Typically I see teams kind of thinking about it more, but looks like both teams know exactly what they're picking, know exactly what they're going to be banning away. Now with the Anduin, they could go for the Light Bomb combo. However, I have seen a Dome build coming out recently. I don't think it would be good this game, as the Thrall is just naturally very good at canceling that. And we see that with the Diablo available, TZ goes on to Garrosh and Batman onto Sonya. So very aggressive team comp, already picked up by Easy Blues in the Swarm. And Light Bomb Leap combo, very strong as well. Is a little bit more finicky with the timing compared to some of the others, as if you mistime it, you could end up wasting a little bit of the stun from the Light Bomb, or you're kind of showing that the leap is incoming. However, it is still a very solid combo, and if you are able to time it correctly, you can get a lot of value out of it. And Chen and Kerosene going to be the two picks for Slang Bros, and like I said, it's a new patch. I wanted to see something different. Doesn't get much different than this. Double healer comp from Slang Bros with the Rhaegar Kerosene, both healers that are kind of able to brawl a little bit, especially the Kerosene, able to deal so much damage as well. So that, and no main tank either. They are going to be running the double bruiser. I mean, Chen is very tanky, but no true tank picked up on the side of Slang Bros. And Sylvanas will be the final pick for Easy Blues in the Swarm. So now just looking at these two drafts, it is Tomb of the Spider Queen, a little bit of a smaller map. Not going to get too much value out of globals or anything like that. Neither side did draft that, but there is going to be a lot of fighting. The draft from Easy Blues in the Swarm is definitely a bit more standard, but Slang Bros is definitely the more exciting one. But we'll see which one will come on top in game number 1. Alright, and we are loaded in for game number 1 between Slang Bros and Easy Blues and the Swarm. Fun fact for everyone here, if you did not know, slang, the word, is actually also slang. It is slang for shortened language. If you did not know that, now you did. If you did know that, you probably don't care to hear it again, but now you get to hear it again. Now, both of these teams are just going to be grouping up into this mid lane. They're getting prepared. And kind of probably just going to be a little bit of a handshake in the mid lane. And that's kind of an issue with the Slang Bros' current composition. It's really hard for them to really get on top of someone pre-level 10. Once they have that level 10, they will have better engage. They will have, I believe it's called the Tremor from the Thrall, the Wandering Keg from Zimbo, if they do want to go down that route. As they are able to push the Zimbo so far back. Gotta use the flying kick to get back, but so much DPS done already is going to be chugging through that keg. Trying to get some of that damage shielded, but TZ also taking a lot of DPS during all that. Kenny gonna be just clearing this out. And now Final Stand and Batman gonna be the two grouping over in this bot lane. And Urid gonna get rooted under the towers, and First Blood going over to Easy Blues on the Swarm. They're now going to be rotating up to this top side, trying to clear out these waves and just kind of keep the pressure going. Able to get the stun. TZ is able to get it onto Adventure. And so much blindness, and Zimbo getting stuck, and once again going to go down. I'm sorry, not once again going to get down, but once again tossed in the back line and will go down this time. Last time was able to escape that. And TZ with the Wrecking Balls and the Groundbreakers able to get so much pressure out. I do see Urid, we're able to dismount it. The Concussive Mine not gonna be placed quite correctly. Urid is gonna be able to dash straight over it and be okay. But that's 2 quick kills going over to Easy Blues on the Swarm, and they're really utilizing this pressure. Batman is losing a little bit in the trades over bot side, but will be able to heal up with the spin to win. Gonna be fighting back on a Final Stand. Final Stand taking a decent amount of damage, but so is Batman. But Final Stand also has a heal and also has Zimbo, but Batman able to just burst it down. And now Zimbo falling under the tower. No hook coming out from Batman. But yeah, really good play. Ancient Spear able to get that extra kill. At level 4 is now hit. TZ able to use the Wrecking Ball back onto Adventure. Adventure is very fast, trying to run away. The root is going to land, but no follow-up. The Groundbreaker and the Wrecking Ball not available for TZ. Had to use it early on. Cooldowns are a bit longer than that, as both sides now finish off their Bruiser Camp. The Bruiser Camp's already knocking on the doors of Slang Bros, but still going to take a little bit of time before it is able to land in there now. Candy just kind of trying to DPS. Gonna use the black arrows to disable this. But once again, Zimbo just going to get thrown back into the team. Concussive Mine not going to land. He's still going to do a little bit of poke damage, but not going to be able to pull them back as they probably hoped. But still, and that's the beauty of Junkrat. It's very non-committal. Even if it doesn't end up working out 4 or 5 times, the one time it will work out, we'll be able to get them the kill. And when they did manage to land the Concussive Mine over onto this Chen, they did get the kill, as they are able to get the Groundbreaker onto Sovereign. And look at that combo, just able to pull them so far back. Urid coming out with the heals. But just the distance they're able to cover with the Groundbreaker and then the Wrecking Ball and then the Concussive Mine on top of that. The team composition is really starting to come through for Easy Blues and the Swarm. They're really showing what this team comp has been designed to do. Now Sovereign a little bit caught, going to get thrown back into the team. Kylo not going to be able to land the root, but now it's a 4v3. So now Batman is kind of stuck in the middle of everyone. Leap of Faith going to be used. Just 100 HP trying to regen, but the Thrall is going to be able to get the kill. TZ not going to be able to get those gems back. 14 gems have been turned in now by Slang Bros. And they don't quite have enough for full turn-in yet. But Easy Blues and the Swarm also very close. XP pretty much even between the two teams. 1 extra kill for the side of Easy Blues and the Swarm, but they haven't been able to even it out just through wave manipulation and pressure. TZ looking for another play onto Zimbo. Will be able to throw it down, but Flying Kick gonna be used to get away. Candy and Eternal Blue gonna be here to just kind of zone it away in. Both sides now have enough to turn in. 34 gems already have been turned in by the side of Slang Bros. But Easy Blues and the Swarm gonna have a pretty massive turn in here. A 37, so both sides very close. TZ does have enough gems to get it started. So does Adventure, and they're able to get the knockback onto Zimbo. Zimbo going to get flown right back. Candy taking so much damage. Urid just trying to dash in, but won't be able to get the last hit. But in the meanwhile, I'm sorry, but they managed to go the Chen over in the mid lane. And the blue Web Weavers have spawned, so Adventure was able to get the turn in the meanwhile. But that's still a kill going over to the Slang Bros. Now Batman sees the final sting, has started onto the siege camp, but 2-on-1, Sovereign is here, but Eternal Blue also coming in with a support. Able to get the Ancient Spear onto Final Stand. Final Stand starting to get pretty low. Grenades flying backwards. Now the siege camp has been finished, and they were able to secure it over on the side of Easy Blues in the Swarm, and they're able to kill the Rhaegar. And now they're still fighting over on Adventure. Adventure is starting to get pretty low, but not going to have the DPS to follow through. But that's one extra kill going over to Easy Blues in the Swarm. And they were able to get that siege camp, and the siege camp will help push out this bot lane Web Weaver. Sovereign is going to try and clear that up, but no, decides to use the little Lightning Fury to push out the towers. Is going to clear it out with the auto attacks. The mid lane is starting to get pushed in with this Web Weavers, but the real push is happening over in this top lane. Black Arrow's not available right now for Kenny. We're not being used, and now Zimbo trying to go in with a flying kick. Usually use that as the escape, so it's going to get caught with that. And now so much damage being dealt onto Zimbo, and Zimbo is just going to go away. I don't think you can use flying kick to get into the garage. The garage will make sure you cannot stay there. Now Batman fighting over on the final stand. Not going to be able to get the kill, but is able to get it so low. Level 10 about to be hit by Easy Blues on the Swarm. They do have enough return in. The X-Ones are here. Adventure is seeing it. Gonna cancel it. But they're going to try and just zone them away. Able to get the root onto TZ. And Leap gonna be used. Level 10 hit immediately, and they're able to get the Silence Riptire coming through. Is going to get the extra kill. And that's another 2 for nothing. Easy Blues and the Swarm just keep getting these pickoffs, keep getting these one fights. As soon as they dinged level 10, they were able to get such a big leap by Batman. And now look at the pressure they're able to bring out with this. Black arrows have been used, will disable the fort and the cannon towers. Kenny's Black Arrow's now going to be over. Concussive Mines just used to zone them away, keep them off of this Web Weaver. And the mid lane wall is going to go down. Lots of poke damage still being landed. But they are still kind of grouping together here, but do decide to start putting away towards the top side. And in the meanwhile, Batman and Final Stand just kind of trading, but Batman definitely taking the winning side of this trade. Bot side wall also going to go down. And now the Web Weaver, still very healthy, has a huge wave as well as all those little spider spawns. And they're going to take the top side wall as well. Teasy looking for an angle, not going to be able to find it. Now they're backing out here. The Web Weaver's through. Not going to be able to finish off this bot fort, but so much damage dealt. And Easy Blues in the Swarm, they already have enough for another turn, and Wandering Keg going to be used over by this Chen, and just going to knock Teasy right back into the team. Leap of Faith going to be used. Riptire going to land on it too, and now a lot of damage going back onto them. Batman is starting to group here, able to throw the taunt right backwards, and they're able to kill onto the Cassia. And now 4v5, how much more can they get with this? Leap lands on it too. Ancestral Healing not going to come out in time. And now Zimbo is going to go down yet again, and 3 kills, and almost able to catch Yurid, but Yurid able to run away just in time. Black arrows, and we'll be able to pull Yurid backwards. The Ancient Spear going to land. TZ gonna just keep trying to keep them in place, and they will be able to get Yurid. 4 for nothing for Easy Blues in the Swarm. And this is looking pretty dire for Slang Bros. 12-1 in kills. And this combo of Sonya, of TZ on the Garrosh into the Eternal Blue Concussive Mine knockback is working out so well for them. The lack of hard engage over on Slang Bros is really starting to come out. They were able to pull TZ back into the team, but TZ's just too tanky, and not able to get the kill on her is really starting to punish them. Level 13 talents now available, gonna have that little bit of an advantage. Web Weaver's also coming out. Black Arrow is going to be used on the Bruiser Camp, so even that Bruiser Camp is only going to delay him slightly. It is good that they were able to force the Black Arrows out before landing onto the fort, but they have the numbers, they have the damage. Might not be able to finish off this fort, but they're going to get a lot of DPS onto it. Riptire going to be coming out, going to be used here. We'll jump in, it lands onto 3, and also deals damage over to the fort, and the fort's going to go down here. That's yet another building finished up. And in the meanwhile, the topside fort also going to go down. Able to get the Valkyrie onto Batman. Batman going to get pulled out with a Leap of Faith. Wandering Keg also not quite in time. The Anduin. As if it wasn't bad enough that the engage is very situational for Slang Bros. Whenever they are able to land the engage onto someone, Anduin is able to just pull them away with Leap of Faith. It does feel a little bit like this draft is just too hard to play. A little bit of a mistake in that regard. Now, they're just waiting for the Bruiser Camp to spawn. And here it will be. But they were able to get so much value out of it. Bot side wall gone. Mid wall still okay. Top side wall halfway gone. And that's when all the forts were still available. This next push might be the last one if they're able to get another fight win like they have been. Easy coming in from the side. Looking towards Zimbo, and they're able to get the taunt, and they're just cleared out the wave. Wandering K going to be used, but it's just pulling Batbang into the backline, and Batbang's okay with that, able to use the leap. They're going to kill Yurio. Batbang still trying to run away, and they're going to be able to trade it back, but now Yurid kind of in the middle of the team. Ancestor healing, coming onto Adventurer. The Bruiser Camp is now helping. Riptire onto Finistan, and Final Stand also going to go down. So 2 for 1, still in favor of Easy Blues in the Swarm, and they have this Bruiser Camp to shove in with. I don't know how much damage they're going to be able to get with this, but yeah, as they do decide to just back away, and they might be heading to the boss. The Sonya will be up in 8 seconds. Leap going to be up shortly after grouping with the team, but I don't think they're really starting this so much as they want to look for the engage. Teasy getting set up, gonna throw Sovereign, and into the Groundbreaker, gonna land the root as well, and Light Bomb thrown on top of the Valkyrie, gonna be used to help delay, but still going to be a kill. Now Urin's stuck on the wrong side of the map. Teasy, Groundbreaker on it too, and Zimbo and Adventurer, they're in such a bad spot. The Unstoppable going to be used, and Teasy able to throw the Adventurer right back in. Leap lands onto only one, but it doesn't matter if it only lands onto one. It's able to zone them away. Adventurer also going to go down, and they were faking the boss earlier, but no, it looks like they're not even interested in taking the boss. They're just going to take this top wall and start pushing down onto this top fort. Black arrows are available by Canny. And yeah, this top fort is just going to be gone. It's 5v3, 5v4 now. Yuri has respawned, but not enough time for them to really try to force any engagements. Kenny trying to do a little bit of a fancy play. Yuri running through. Gonna take the Groundbreaker, but not going to be thrown backwards into the team. But the one lucky thing for Slang Bros is they don't have enough gems for the turn-in. And with those respawns coming out, I don't think they'll be able to boss. It is level 16 talents over level 14 talents. They're going to hand in what they do have. And with all that being said and done, it's 48. So just looking over onto the 12. And now Slang Bros very close to having enough gems for the turn-in. But again, they just don't have the pressure anywhere to really be able to get that final submission in. And now Zambo tries to, but can he just kind of use the Haunting Wave to push Zimbo off of that. Now both sides now grouping up. TZ gonna take a Lightning Fury. And interestingly enough, it is the Charge Strike, so it is the auto attack build as the boss is started by Eternal Blue, and it looks like this time it isn't a fake. They're DPSing it very heavily, already at half HP, and I don't think they're even aware of this on the side of Slang Bros. They might have realized it at this point, but it's definitely too late. And the boss will go down in favor of Easy Blues on the Swarm. Bruiser Camp is going to be taken by Slang Bros. They will hit level 16 very soon, so at least won't be down to talent. And they're trying to get the Web Weavers help delay this push against the boss. And as Sovereign and Yurid are able to get it, I believe that is enough. And they were able to get it. TZ gets there just a little bit too late. But now, how much damage is this boss going to be able to deal? These Web Weavers are purely to delay. And Easy Blues on the Swarm should be able to just shove it out. They're killing this boss very quickly, so looks like they're not even going to be able to get any permanent damage with it. However, it does kind of force them to use all of their gems purely defensively. They're not going to get any offensive value off of this Web Weaver. Level 16 is hit. Batman taking a lot of damage. The Web Weaver at very, very low health. The top Web Weaver is still okay, but so far back and still taking so much damage from these cannons. Yeah, the Web Weaver's not going to get too much value. Easy looks for a play. Does have the cleanse. Will throw and taunt over onto this Valkyrie. Going to pull back, but not going to be enough damage. Batman starting to get very low. Leap of Faith has to be forced, but they're able to get Canny. But Canny also able to run away, but still the final burn will get the kill. Now TZ also getting pretty low. Able to get Root on a 3 by Kalau. But still, that's finally a pick going over the Slang Bros. And not only is that a pick, they're able to just stand there and start dishing damage out onto this fort. TZ trying to delay, just kind of being a nuisance. Hoping to waste as much time as possible. Concussive Mine as well. Oh, Eternal Blue doing whatever Eternal Blue can. And they were able to get that mid fort, but there is a pretty large wave shoving out this bot keep in the bot lane. They're going to start grouping up. They're okay leaving that away. It looks like Final Stand will be Hearthing now to deal with it. The Bruiser Camp does go down, but at the same time, this top lane fort will also get taken down. So that one pick gave them 2 kills. They did lose a bit of health over on the spot lane keep, but that's it. Batman going to turn in the gems, but still not going to be enough. 58, any amount of gems really, except for TZ. TZ only sitting on the 1. Will get those web weavers, and they're almost level 20. Should be able to hit level 20 during this push. Kenny walking up top just to soak as much of this XP as possible. Now Batman is grouping up mid, just kind of trying to keep the waves shoved in. The further up your waves are, the further up the web weavers do spawn, so always good to have this wave priority. And Eternal Blue just able to deal so much damage with those triple grenades. The walls are kind of low, trap already set, and the web weaves for will spawn level 20s are now hit by Easy Blues on the swarm. And Kenny jumps in, is just faking out, just kind of showboating a little bit there. But the Lightning Furies are going to be used to kind of clear this out, but it is not the Lightning Fury build. It is the auto attack build coming out from Sovereign. Riptire going to be thrown in. Lands on it too, and did not get that extra Riptire charge. Now the Black Arrow is going to be used. They're going to be able to finish off this wall and get about half HP onto this mid lane keep. But their top web weaver is still very much alive and is going to start pressuring the base. Spot web weaver now landing over onto the keep, and they're just going to use the pressure coming out from both these lanes to first of all try and take out this wall and also try and take out this keep. Able to get the knockup, and they they don't end up getting over onto Zimbo, but they are able to get the Kerosene. Europe is going to be dead now. And with that, it is a 4v5. Web Weavers onto the core, so they're able to just pressure. Another set of Black Arrows is back up, and they're just throwing as many grenades onto it as possible. Zimbo already at half HP, Wandering Keg used, and is able to get TZ and Batman separated. Able to just kind of separate everyone. The heal does not come out in time. TZ throws everyone backwards. Light Bomb combo used. Will be cleansed away by Sovereign, but Sovereign will still end up going down, and now Adventurer gonna get zoned back into the base, and it's a 5-on-2. And Easy Blues and the Swarm look to finish this game number 1, but they don't have a wave quite yet. They are quite low. Final Stand and Adventure may be able to delay in time. Riptire comes out. Leaf also going to come out. Ancestor Healing will come out in time on Adventure, but it doesn't matter. They're able to DPS through it. Batman also very low, but it looks like they will be able to finish off this game. And game number 1 will go to Easy Blues and the Swarm. So game number 1 will go to Easy Blues and the Swarm, and I gotta say, I think it was kind of just a difficult draft to play for Slang Bros. They really didn't have any answer for that combo of TZ's Garrosh and Eternal Blues Junkrat, just kind of able to throw people so far back at the start of the game. And any offensive play they try to do, their only real engage was the Valkyrie from Cassia, which, like, it's not gonna land consistently. You're only gonna really be able to get someone when they're out of position. And then the Chen's Wandering Kegs by Zimbo. And when you have the Anduin, it just makes it so much harder. You have to collect so many people and disrupt so hard in those fights. But it was only game number 1. There's still at least one more game coming up. So hopefully they can make those adjustments in the draft and really show what they are capable of in this game number 2. We're going to go to a short break, but when we're back, that's exactly what we're going to see. Don't go anywhere. Hello, everyone. Everyone from Pelder's hot stream, thank you very much for the raid, Pelder. We are currently heading into map number 2 between Slang Bros and Easy Blues and the Swarm. Easy Blues and the Swarm were able to take game number 1, utilizing Garrosh and Junkrat as their primary combo. And let me tell you, the distance they were able to throw someone through towards the backline was insane. They were able to get him across half of the wave. But anyway, we are starting to get over into these picks and bans. Lucio gonna get banned away by Easy Blues. Hogger gonna get banned away by Slang Bros. Still pretty standard bans so far. Maev going to be joining in on that as well. As Easy Blues and the Swarm were able to get rid of that as well. Now, Slang Bros. I am wondering if they're gonna consider getting rid of that Junkrat. That Junkrat was a nightmare. And yes, there it is. The Junkrat ban coming out. Not going to let Eternal Blue play it this time. Now, first pick this time going to be going over to Easy Blues and the Swarm. I don't know how many priority picks there are available. And I'll be honest, with this new patch, I'm not even sure what is priority anymore. But we do know that Blaze has gotten nerfed pretty significantly. We know Vala's nerfed pretty significantly. But we also know it's Infernal Shrines. And Anduin is going to be locked in by Kal-El. Gonna be that first pick. There's still a lot of potential pairings you can do with that Anduin. And last game, they didn't even really have too much of a pairing to begin with. Anduin just a strong healer to begin with. Chromie and Joanna going to be locked in by Slang Bros. Chromie going to be able to kill those skeletons over the wall. And just kind of be able to be a huge nuisance. And first of all, going to be able to secure those skeletons for themselves if they do have the priority. But if they don't have priority, going to be able to delay a long time for the rest of the team to help set up. And Joanna, as per usual, just standard tank. Tychus going to be locked in by Eternal Blue, and we do get to see TZ on that signature Diablo pick. So it's going to be an absolute nutty day going through into this map number 2. And it is a very interesting pick band together. Or double pick with the Tychus and Diablo. The Tychus is typically picked into tanks like the Diablo due to the amount of percent HP damage that Tychus is able to dish out. So having both of them together does save them from having to ban the Tychus. But the main counter to Diablo is still available with the Garrosh. But you're not going to run double tank Joanna Garrosh, so... Very smart drafting so far by Easy Blues and the Swarm. I think they're pretty much free to get rid of a healer that they think would get in the way. Maybe something like the Stukov could be annoying to deal with. Or potentially something... I do expect a healer to be taken out here. They're going to go with the Rhaegar. The Ancestor healing is a bit too much. The Totem also able to kind of slow down fights so much. And just easier not to deal with it. But speaking of the healers, out of the main ones, Brightwing is still available. Stukov did not get banned out. I would expect them to pick at least one healer here in the 3-4 phase. They do have the counter pick. They may decide to do that over into the offlane. But nope, they will lock in the Leoric and the Hanzo. So they're going to have 10th pick healer coming out. Hanzo still very strong. Leoric also... Haven't seen the Leoric yet today, but I imagine will still do... all the things that Leoric does. Wraithwalk, always going to be a very useful spell. Has a lot of wave clear. Is able to double soak with ease. Compared to a lot of these other picks. Now, final 2 picks. We are expecting a DPS. And Genji going to be picked by Canny. And the Dahaka from Batman. Both very solid picks. The Genji Anduin combo. This will be the second time we see it today. Though in opposite series, and Uther going to be the final pick, so kind of makes sense why they were holding out on that. And Uther is one of those few characters that can easily deal with a Genji, and maybe that's why they were leaving it a 10th pick. They wanted to see if the Genji Light Bomb combo was picked out, and that was going to be their answer for it. So hats off to Slang Bros. I think they drafted a lot better this game, so hopefully they'll be able to bring it out and come out swinging in game number 2. Alright, and we are into map number 2. Gonna be on to those infernal shrines. Now, in terms of actually killing the little skeletons on top of the shrines, I do kind of have to favor Slang Bros a little bit if they are, like, in terms of who's able to kill them faster. Hanzo able to deal with them really well, Chrome able to deal with them really well, same with the Lior. Whereas on the side of Easy Blues and the Swarm, it is mostly going to just be Batman's Dahaka and Eternal Blues Tychus. But we'll have to see. Realistically, at the end of the day, it's just who's able to pressure on the most and should be able to just take it out freely. That's a scatter shot going to land onto TZ immediately. A lot of DPS. Adventure taking a lot of damage back from Canny and Eternal Blue. And I am curious to see how this Genji is going to be played this game. There are two kind of poke DPSs out from the side of Slang Bros. Batman just going to be trading onto Final Stand. So able to clear out this entire wave. And they did throw back Final Stand, but was able to go into the Wraith Walk before the Shadow Charge was able to come out. Eternal Blue will finish out this charge. And the waves are going to be even. They're a little bit behind on the rotation bot side, as you see Batman and Final Stand going to be laning against each other. And Final Stand dealing so much damage. And they're actually getting zoned away from this lane. The deflect is going to come out from Canny. Not going to really deflect anything, though. But they did manage to get into position over in this bot lane. They're going to start clearing this out. And their wave clear is a little bit worse, as they do land the stun onto TZ. TZ taking a little bit of poke damage. Zimbo able to kind of really dish it out from the back. The blind comes in from Sovereign. Will pull 3 of them back in, but they're going to use the overpower onto Sovereign instead. But still a winning trade coming out from Slang Bros. And they're going to use those HP advantages to press onto the siege camp. And in fact, it's a 5v4 over in the spot lane. So if TZ does go in, Final Stand is here. They have the time stop onto Eternal Blue. And they're just going to group as 5 just to take the siege camp. But because of that, Batman's able to kind of get a free wave. And I'm wondering if they're able to get more with that. I don't think their rotation's worth it if you're only able to get no kill in just the one camp. They won't lose too much for it at the same time, so could be worth it just to keep the option open. The drag will go wide, and stasis will be used to dodge away from those Chromie abilities from that Dragon's Breath. But the siege camp is going to get picked up by Easy Blues and the Swarm, so overall, mostly an even trade. I think slightly favors Slang Bros at the end of the day, just because they were able to steal away that siege camp and apply so much pressure around this bot lane cannon towers. But very even still. Gonna really depend who's able to bring it out in the first few fights of the game. Zimbo trying to take this bruiser camp gonna be very difficult as a solo Hanzo trying to take this camp. And now Adventure and Sovereign gonna come in to help out. And now Eternal Blue and Kal-El both going to get started over onto this bruiser camp as well. Just dealing as much damage as possible. Hopefully going to be able to take it before the shrine's active. They're not going to try pushing in on Slang Bros. Going to be a little bit far for them. Would be a bit of an overextension, as Batman does go over to this bot lane. Does have the burrow to be able to like join the fights immediately whenever needed. And now they're going to start grouping together, going to push out this bruiser camp. But because of that, Slang Bros have been able to get onto this shrine immediately. Already getting some of those skeletons, getting their number closer to 40. A lot of little traps here, and Eternal Blue is going to get caught, but TZ able to get a pretty good Shadow Charge. And Adventure is kind of caught on the wrong side of everything, and Adventure is trying to survive as long as possible. We'll be able to get the time stop, but again, Batman just auto-attacking, and Adventure is slowly able to get away, and almost does, but enough DPS coming out from the side of Easy Blues and the Swarm to get that first blood. And with that, they were able to brute force their way onto this shrine. And Zimbo is going to get thrown back. Shadow Charge into the wall. Going to get cleansed out, but now the team fight's really starting to come in. Batman taking a decent amount of damage. And Eternal Blue runs in, gets pulled back. Very good heads-up play. Spam picking Kal-El. Eternal Blue knew he had the leap of faith in order to be able to get that kill. And just huge heads-up play. Huge trust in the team. And now Sovereign also going to get knocked into the entire team. Going to pull all 5 in, but everyone's back up. Dragon's Breath just dishing out damage all over them. And now Sovereign very low, going to get finished off by Eternal Blue. And in the meanwhile, Final Stand is still in the middle, trying to get something to happen. But throughout all of this, the fights are still going in favor of VC Blues and the Swarm. And now they're also able to get the overpower on Adventure, but Adventure will be able to just walk away. And TZ gonna go down. So much damage coming out from Adventure. And now they're both gonna reset. Only 4 skeletons away. 3 now. Eternal Blue able to get one with a grenade. And they do have time. They can wait for Tizu to come back, or at least get Tizu to come back and be a little bit closer. Batman going to get interrupted here as well. Can he manage to get 1, manage to get 2, and all 3 gonna get finished off. So the Immortal will be killed in favor of Easy Blues and the Swarm. 3-1 is the kill score going over this, and Slang Bros almost able to take it back, but unfortunately, Candy and Eternal Blue able to kind of force down the last 3 skeletons. Now Sovereign's still able to get a lot of pressure coming out. The Dragon's Breath is very good at clearing out these waves as well. The Immortal already at half HP. They will be able to get most of this wall, but in fact will be able to get Sovereign. But Steel Skin gonna be used. Won't be in any danger, but will take half the HP as Dragon's Breath comes through and just lands on over top onto everyone. And good deflect. Zimbo also at 1/3 HP. But with that, the Immortal is gone. A little bit of the wall does still remain. But Batman and Final Stand just gonna continue clearing out these bot sites, and slight XP advantage over the side of Easy Blues and the Swarm. But no real usage of that pressure yet. Now, it is a 5v4 because the Genji has just reset. They're able to get the Dragon with Zimbo. Stace is gonna be used. Batman trying to heal a lot, but the burst damage is gonna be too much. So that's the kill going over for Slang Bros. Now, it's a very bad spot to fight into a Chromie. And now TZ also going to get thrown into the team, but Slang Bros is just going to be able to push their way in and take a kill and take the siege camp. So, and with that, the XP lead is gone. Both sides about to hit level 10. Level 10 already hit by Slang Bros. Should be followed soon by Easy Blues and the Swarm. And not only were they able to steal away that siege camp, they're also going to be able to get that siege camp over in this bot side. As I like to call it, the neutral siege camp. And with that, now they have a half a level lead, able to just turn that 1 kill into a pretty sizable advantage. Scattershot also dealing a decent amount of DPS over in this bot lane. And the Dragon's Breath just dealing so much damage to this fort. Easy may be looking for a play. Does get blinded by Sovereign, but will get the Shadow Charge, but nothing else. Light Bomb combo gonna be used. Able to get the extract, but Adventure will get cleansed out in time. Dragon are onto 3, but the time stop as well. And now the Entomb. Final Stand is throwing down onto TZ, but TZ going to get it pulled out. Now Kalo taking so much damage, and Kalo will go down. And with that, it's going to be 1 kill going over to Slang Bros. They were the ones that got engaged upon, but they were able to get the advantage out of it. But they are still a bit low. If they overforce a little bit, they could get punished for it, but wisely decide to back away. Batman still just going to be clearing out this wave and actually taking a decent amount of damage from Final Stand. Canny going to come in for some help, but only going to really be able to push Final Stand away and make sure that Batman is going to be okay. Atizi going to be able to shove out this bot lane. All their forts are still up, so while they do have an almost full level disadvantage now, they're still okay. They're still on even talents. Level 13s will probably be hit by Slang Bros in time for this shrine, or at least during the shrine. So they will be able to utilize their advantage as the drag able to hit onto Final Stand, just in order to get a little bit of poke going back and forth. And now Sovereign gonna come in, try to keep Batman away from Final Stand, but good trade for Batman. Now this Bruiser Camp going to get finished off by the side of Easy Blues and the Swarm, so both sides gonna be able to secure their Bruiser Camps. And now we're seeing over on this shrine, Sovereign and the entire side of Slang Bros now have the pressure. They still haven't hit level 13. And in fact, I'm a little bit surprised that no one's out there split pushing just to get those final few hits. But they have the pressure. They're able to just shove this out. And it looks like they don't really need the 13s. They know that they're close enough that just the threat of it is too much. And they're going to be able to secure this Frost Punisher. And getting that Frost Punisher is what lands on the level 13. And how much are they going to be able to get out of it? There is no wall here. So they're probably going to look to try and take at least this fort. Commander Odin going to be coming out by Eternal Blue. Just to help clear this out. We'll be able to clear out a lot of the minions. It's still so much damage over onto this tower. Kenny gonna be used. X-Strike lands onto 3, and Batman able to get onto the backside with the drag. And now TZ able to drop onto Urid, and the Lightning Breath dealing so much damage, and Urid is also gone. Their healer is gone. They are able to use the time lapse to get Sovereign back. And now Sovereign is still being chased down by Batman, but they will get the fort, but they will lose 2 for that. So very well played by the side of Easy Blues and the Swarm. This Immortal still dealing a lot of damage, but after the fort's just nothing left for it to push. Very well played by Easy Blues and the Swarm. But now Batman is caught out as well. Is just going to be able to run away. Has the stasis. TZ going to be here just to help zone away Adventure and Sovereign. Now Eternal Blue grouping together to help shove everything away. They're just going to start onto the siege camp. Now it is 3-on-3 so far. Both sides have their 4th members coming in. Kenny already coming through, and so much damage onto Zimba, but will get the time stop on top of them. Eternal Blue is just DPSing onto Sovereign, but it is 5v4. Entomb lands onto TZ, and no pullback as TZ is going to go down. Kenny able to get the Light Bomb combo, but in the meanwhile, they're still fighting over for the siege camp, but it's not working out for them. They will go down, and that's going to be 2 kills. Oh, sorry, just 1 kill going over for the side of Slang Bros. Oh, no, TZ just respawned. Had the 100 souls. My bad. But anyway, Sovereign is going to continue with this push. Jumping onto Eternal Blue. Leap of Faith gonna be used. And TZ is now back. Able to jump onto Sovereign, but Sovereign very tanky. Not a lot of DPS, or as I say that, the overpower coming through by Eternal Blue. But will get stunned by the hammer, and the Lightning Breath will come out, and just more kills going over towards Slang Bros. Just look at the amount of pressure they're able to output. Playing so well this time around, now that they have a draft that's a little bit easier to execute. You're able to get that Hammer of Justice pretty consistently. And with that, they do have the level 16 talent advantage now, consistently keeping their lead, and they're utilizing it really well. The siege camp is now up, and they're just going to come right back and steal it. No answer coming through for the side of Easy Blues and the Swarm. Batman is going to trade a little bit on the final stand, but not much is going to come out of it. Just going to be a nuisance. Like I said, the camp is gone, and now they're grouping over towards this bot lane fort. With the Dragon's Breath, with the Chromie, gonna be so easy to take it down. And look at the DPS. They're just bringing all 5 in, but Kenny was able to take down the top lane fort. So will be an even trade. Will be a slight natural push over in this mid lane for Slang Bros. Now that they do have this slight lead, but no talent advantage anymore, as Easy Blues and the Swarm do hit 16. Now, Bruiser Camp has respawned for Slang Bros. Doesn't look like they want to take it quite yet. Might be waiting for the timer for the Immortals. Or, sorry, not for the Immortals. For the Punisher to spawn. And does seem like they just want to use that Bruiser Camp to pressure them once that does come up. So the Shrine is activating. Kenny and Kal-El going to take down this Bruiser Camp. And like I said, Zimbo, Adventure, and Urid gonna go down over to their Bruiser Camp and finish it off as well. So both Bruiser Camps going to be taken at about the same time. A little bit earlier for the side of Easy Blues and the Swarm, but doesn't really matter. They're going to group together anyway. But even talent here so far. They are a full level down on the side of Easy Blues and the Swarm, but there's no talent advantage until level 20. Although level 18 has been hit by Chromie, so with the Temporal Loop, looking to get to level 20 and going to get Piercing Sand, so that's a huge DPS increase for Chromie. So there is a slight advantage with that Chromie hitting the effective level 20, the Storm Talent. But how much can they really pressure with it? Adventure has been playing pretty well so far, able to get so much damage. And with the piercing DPS, it makes it so much harder to play. Dragon's Breath lands onto Kenny, so much damage done. Now Batman is here, able to get the drag, gonna get cleansed away. And now in the meanwhile, they're able to get the X-Strike Light Bomb combo. Urid gonna get hit by the Lightning Breath. Invulnerable coming out onto everyone. And Eternal Blue's gonna be the first one to go down. And in the meanwhile, they're also able to get the Genji. And now both gonna be hit in the time stop. And now TZ just getting hit. But they're able to pull back the Uther. So gonna trade it back a little bit. 2-for-1 still in favor of the Slang Bros. And with that 2-for-1, they already have the 19 skeletons. And they should be able to finish off this Punisher. But Batman and TZ, they want to continue fighting. Time stop already used onto Batman. Will get canceled. The drag lands onto Adventure, and that's the target you want. Stasis is going to be used, but will still be rooted. But Batman taking so much DPS and will go down first. really good attempt to try and go on to Adventurer, but just not enough damage left. Both of their DPSs have already been taken out. And that's going to be the 40 skeletons, and the Arcane Punisher is spawning for the Slang Bros. Still a fort in this lane as well, but definitely not going to last for too much longer. Currently level 19 and a half. May be able to get level 20 during this, as we do see Final Stand going to grab as much XP as possible over in this bot lane. And now just a quarter of a level left, with the fort getting taken down will help them out a little bit. And they do get that passive XP from the two forts that are down. Commander Odin gonna get popped by Eternal Blue just to help clear this out. TZ going to take the leap over by the Punisher. And they should be able to clear this out now, but will lose their top side wall. Level 20s now hit by Slang Bros. So this is their moment. They have the double leap, and they're just gonna push right in. Kenny going to get hit into the temporal loop. Does Kenny still have deflect? Is gonna use the X strike to get canceled out of it. But that's still an ultimate forced out from both sides. But the X strike is so crucial in their light bomb combo. They do get the drag over onto the Final Stand. Final Stand is just gonna run away. Lots of cooldowns are now down. No Dragon's Arrow, no Temporal Loop, no Commander Odin or X-Strike either, though. But the level 20s are still in favor of the Slang Bros, and they're able to get so much damage over onto these keeps. Looks like they do want to try and finish it off, but they're not really able to have the long-distance damage onto it. The Siege Camp is going to get cleared out by Eternal Blue. The Cannon Creep also going to go down. And Kenny just trying to poke that down as much as possible from the side. Just make it as difficult as possible for them to walk up to be able to poke down this tower. Or sorry, this keep. And they will be forced off this mid lane. Final Stand is going to be trading into Kenny. Still no level 20s for Easy Blues in the Swarm, but they were able to defend. They did lose a couple of their lives, but they kept all 3 of their keeps. And with that, they should be able to get their level 20s safely and securely. So it's really going to come down to just teamfight execution from now on. There's no more advantages left in this game. Both sides now do have the level 20. Teleport going to be picked up by the Diablo. Look, let's watch TZ. TZ is usually able to make some pretty good play with Teleport. But at the same time, Slang Bros is going to be watching out for it as well. Bruiser Camp going to go down for both sides right now. Adventure and Zimbo going to be taking down the blue side. Bruiser Camp. And just going to try and get as much lane pressure as possible for both of these sides. I think they both do need to... It's going to be an important part for them to just have both of these teams having the lane pressures. Having all of these minions shoved out, it'll give them a little bit of vision, it'll give them a little bit of time. And it's also going to give them enough pressure to kind of force back one of the teammates on the opposite member. And potentially giving them the advantage that they need to win the team fight. As Sovereign is running down and not scared at all, just going through kind of the cheat cut. And now Batman is caught out a little bit, actually. Completely alone. Still hasn't used the stasis. Will be okay for now. Commander Odin used, so it does look like they are looking to fight this. And TZ blinded. Will use the teleport, jumps onto Adventurer, but not able to get any follow-up. They do have the extra light bomb involved. Gonna be thrown out by the... by the healer, but in the meanwhile, Dahaka does go down, and now TZ going to get hit in the temporal loop. She's trying to survive. Leap of Faith going to be used, but in the meanwhile, the Anduin is also going to go down. Commander Odin trying to deal as much damage over in the backside, but now they're also going to be able to land the stun onto Kenny. Kenny able to dash back away, but such low HPs, and in fact, gonna be able to kill Kenny over with the Dragon's Breath. Adventurer able to really bring out the DPS, able to land those skill shots, and this might be it. They might have enough DPS. And look at TZ. TZ taking so much damage. Zimbo is going to be able to get it with the scatter shot. And they're just going to end this game. And Slang Bros is going to push as hard as possible. TZ did have 100 souls, able to respawn immediately. But Lightning Breath is up. But how much pressure can you really get it? Entomb going to go wide. Overpower going to be used by Eternal Blue. But Eternal Blue also taking so much DPS. And now the Shadow Charge going to be used on the Lightning Breath. Also trying to zone away as much as possible, but the temporal loop going to be used on TZ, and TZ is also going to go down. And still the core remains, but not for long, as Slang Bros take map number 2, and we're going to a game 3. What an insane game coming out just now from the Slang Bros. They were able to pressure so hard, and once they got the lead, they played it so clean. They did not overextend. They did not lose a single bit of that lead. They just slowly built it up and used it to eventually get the final pick that they needed over onto Batman and Kal-El in order to finish off map number 2. So no dominations from either side, so not going to change too much in terms of the rankings, but it will give them that safety. But either way, now they're playing for pride. They're playing for that one extra point. When we come back, we're going to see who's going to be able to bring this back and win the game. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in about 5-ish minutes. Alright, and we are back with the third and final map today between the Slang Bros and the Easy Blues and the Swarm. And now we're going to be going over towards the Dragonshire. Very large map. Oh. JK. I'm not sure what really happened there, but I guess we're not going to be going in quite yet. You'll get to look at me in the dark then. Yeah, I guess they're making a new lobby? Nope. Yeah, we are going to be getting set soon. I'm not sure what happened. We should be getting right back into the game or into the draft very shortly. Yeah, all 10 members are now back, so hopefully we can get right back into the draft. But anyway, I am looking at this game and I'm really excited to see who's going to be able to win this game. It has been a close series. Both games kind of decided. Game 1 decided by draft. Game 2 kind of decided by execution. As we are now back into the draft. Still on Dragonshire. So we're really going to have to see which of these two teams is going to be able to get that X factor this time around to be able to pressure out with this victory. Now, still waiting to see over on this first ban, but like I was saying, it is a larger map, so globals might be something contested by both of these teams. And Lucio is going to be that first ban from the side of Easy Blues and the Swarm. But like I always say, Lucio doesn't really show anything. It's a pretty standard healer. Very good healer, don't get me wrong, but very standard. Sylvanas also going to get banned out by the side of the Slang Bros. As I pour myself some tea. Sorry if you can hear that. I do want to see someone pick something a little bit more global oriented here. We did have the Dahaka last game, but that was less for the global presence that Dahaka could bring and more for the ability to speed clear and double soak. Maev going to be the second ban for Easy Blues and the Swarm. Just once again, just a very good standard pick, and it is interesting that in this game we are not seeing any picks or bans for the Blaze. The Blaze did just get nerfed into the ground. Just so much less pressure coming out from that hero. But you know what they didn't ban this time around? The Junkrat for Eternal Blue. Gonna be making a reappearance in this third map. And the Junkrat was able to deal so much damage and was able to pull out so much pressure in game number 1. And Vala gonna get locked in by Final Stand. This is not the same Vala that you would see yesterday. Has gone through a couple nerfs, but should still be a good hero nonetheless. And Tyrael also going to get locked in. So looks like they might be trying to build a little bit of a dive composition. We'll have to see what else they do go with. Tyrael is able to deal a lot of pressure, and if they do go with that dive ultimate, I could just use that to delete Eternal Blue off the map. Maybe they were hoping for the Junkrat pick and were trying to play against it. As we see Greymane and the Garrosh picked again, so the TZ Garrosh Eternal Blue Junkrat combo. Very long name, but it is going to be coming back out for this third map. We saw just how much distance they were able to get it, and I don't know if they even have the right picks this time around to be able to play against it. Just overall, very solid pick coming out. We are now getting into the second phase of bans. Still no healers picked up for either of these two teams. As we see the Anduin going to get banned out. They did see how much pressure the Anduin was able to bring. Leap of Faith, even though they did lose last game, the Leap of Faith was able to really save them in so many different situations. Having that instant cleanse. The Uther also going to get banned out. They don't want to deal with that again. They do already have both their DPSs picked up on Easy Blues and the Swarm, so it doesn't seem like they're banning the Uther just for a potential Genji pick. They are more of a backline team, though Greymane can also dive in and deal a ton of damage that way. But we are now waiting on these next two picks for the Slang Bros. I still need a DPS, and they go with Malfurion as the healer and Melthil in the off lane. I'm a little bit surprised about the Melthil pick because not a lot of high HP bars over on the side of Easy Blues and the Swarm. Should still be able to deal a ton of damage. Is still a good pick, but is a little bit squishy overall, and Malfurion not really the burst healer that you'd like coming out from the Slang Bros. So not sure what the strategy is here. They do have a pretty good combo with the root, and Thrall and Stukov coming out for Batman and Kal-El. And this Stukov should be able to apply so much pressure this game. With Tyrael, you know exactly where... I'm actually not sure what gender Tyrael is, to be completely honest. So I'm just going to say they know exactly where Tyrael is going to be dashing, going to be blinking back and forth. So having that silence on top of that is just going to be really disruptive during these fights. And Lunara going to be the final pick. And Lunara is very good at picking off in the back line, so Eternal Blue does need to play a bit more carefully this time around. Has the Stukov for the peel, and also Teasy on the Garrosh is able to help peel for Eternal Blue as well, but I think I do favor the draft of Easy Blues on the Swarm this time around. It is a bit more standard, and Eternal and the Garrosh Junkrat combo is just so good. But we're going to see who's able to bring it out as we head into game number 3.
Heroes, prepare for combat.
All right, and we are in the map. We are on Dragonshire. I'm really interested to see just how this is going to get played. And Slang Bros have now seen this combo of the Junkrat and the Garrosh, so I'm curious if they're going to play differently. If they're able, have they been able to come up with a plan and a way to deal with that? They do know what's coming. They know exactly what to expect. Let's see if it's able to work. Were they just caught off guard in game number 1 and that's why it was so effective? Or is it something else? And in game 1, it was a much harder draft to play into that. That might also affect this a little bit. Eternal Blue immediately running in, just throwing grenades everywhere, trying to be dealing as much DPS and just overall being an absolute nuisance as you do on the Junkrat. Both sides kind of grouping together and immediately going to throw him onto the trap and drop Sovereign straight into the backline. But Batman is going to get traded back, so 1-for-1. And maybe that's their plan. Let the tank, let the Tyrael get thrown into the backline and then just explode onto the enemy team and combo it out. It is a 1-for-1, so gotta give credit where credit's due. And it is going to be the multi-shot talent coming out from the Vala. The fire at will. The other 2 builds have gotten nerfed, so might be the new meta for Vala. Now they're just going to group down. The Shires are, the Shrines are going to be activating in 30 seconds. Groundbreaker just used to check the bush, not going to be landing onto anyone. And Final Stand is going to be starting onto the siege camp. We're doing, and at the same time we see Zimbo going onto that bruiser camp, as well as Canny and Batman. So it is going to be 3 pushing out this bruiser camp. It will go down faster. But Zimbo on the Meltil still able to kill it very quickly. And Sovereign going to come in just to help finish it off. So both bruiser camps going to go down almost in perfect synchronization. And Eternal Blue will trade with that siege camp as well. So at the end of the day, even trades for both sides. Another wait. So no one's really able to get any advantage quite yet, but they are now bringing all 5 members top for Slang Bros, looking to kind of jump upon them and utilize this pressure with the bruiser camp. Eternal Blue is still shoving out this bot lane, so they do need to get something to happen here if they are going to be using this 5-0-0 lane assignment. They do get the pressure, and they do get the Dragon Shrines immediately. Eternal Blue going to get that cancelled off immediately, right away. And overall, not a lot of pressure. I would have liked to see a bit more coming out from them if they're going to be playing all 5 in one lane. And in fact, Final Stand taking so much damage, almost goes down. Teasy not going to be able to land the Groundbreaker, but going to get completely pressured off of the tower. But still, that's a little bit of an XP advantage for Slang Bros. Pretty much even for everyone. 1-for-1 in the kills, so not really sure how that's going to end up going. Now, Canny going to Hearth back. Sovereign going to retake that shrine. And in the meanwhile, Eternal Blue still continuing pressuring down this bot side. Now TZ is here. And we'll be able to get the Wrecking Ball into the Groundbreaker, but Zimbo will dodge away on the Groundbreaker follow. And now Kenny still able to jump in and just auto-attack Zimbo down. Sovereign is here as well. And Kenny will just dash away. A little bit of poke going back and forth, just kind of feeling each other out. And Final Stand able to get a huge multi-shot onto all of the core members. Now Eternal Blue and Adventurer fighting for this shrine. And we'll be able to use the Concussive Blast to push Adventurer back. And now Adventurer is kind of stuck. TZ's going to be right there, able to get the knock-up as well. And the silence, the final grenade not going to land. You're able to keep Adventurer alive and healthy. And now with the hot going to be used onto Adventurer, will be okay. And Zimbo going to be jumped upon by Kenny and Batman. Just a little bit more damage to get the kill, but Zimbo will be able to dash away. And in fact, the Dragon Knight going to be picked up by Final Stand here in the mid lane. So first objective going over to Slang Bros. And no delay, just immediately starts walking up and taking down these cannon turrets. Gonna take this entire wall and still has a lot of time and a lot of health left onto this Dragon Knight. Gonna just boot away Kenny. Kalo does have pretty strong auto attacks. Stukov has very high base damage numbers. Was just going to use this to keep kicking Kenny away. And walking a little bit to the boss side. And I'm sorry, I have no idea how that happened. Sorry, I was not expecting the Junkrat to die behind the fort. But Adventurer able to pick up a kill. A lot of damage coming out from this Lunara. And the wall is also going to go down. They do have the root and the sleep on Nikalo. The Flame Breath going to be used over from this Dragon Knight. And it will finally expire very shortly. And Final Stand is going to get ejected. But able to get the wall in bot lane and in mid lane. And that's very good value for a 4-minute Dragon Knight. So full level advantage now by Slang Bros. And it seems that their solution is just ignore the Garrosh and just be able to win the fights outside of that. Now, Zimbo going to dash back, but still a winning trade over for Batman. And now the siege camp's going to be taken by both these sides. Not going to pressure it quite yet. Level 10 almost hit over by the Slang Bros. They do see Batman, and they're able to jump upon it. But Kenny's also here, damaging onto Yurid. Not going to walk into the sleep. And TZ barely not going to be able to land the Groundbreaker. Could have been a very big hit onto Adventurer. Now, Kenny just going to get jumped upon in Adventurer. Able to deal so much DPS on this Lunara. Yeah, the Leaping Strike just one-shots this. And with that, they're able to pressure down this mid tower. I don't know if they're going to be able to finish it. It's still early in the game. Sovereign going to get thrown back. And that does seem to be their answer to this Garrosh. Just let Sovereign have a free blink backwards and tank the Wrecking Ball. And with that, they're not going to be able to continue really abusing this combo. And looks like their draft response was very good on the side of Slang Bros. They know exactly how to play into this combo as the Bruiser Camp is started out. Gonna get scouted by Zimbo. So far, it doesn't look like they're planning on fighting it. No, they're not. Just trying to be a nuisance. Kenny will be able to finish this off. Level 10 now hit by both teams. So the shrines are activating 15 seconds, but pressure definitely favoring the side of Slang Bros. Eternal Blue trying to shove out this wave, but I don't think they're going to be able to get onto the shrine. And in fact, the Bruiser Camp gonna get started by Final Stand. Little bit of a rotation by Kenny onto Zimbo, but even that's not really able to accomplish the same level of pressure, as we do have a pause. Hopefully this pause isn't too long. This is the only time where I really turn on the chat. Oh, Yurid has DC'd, so that seems to be the reason so far. Hopefully we'll be able to reconnect soon. I'll just periodically check that. But for now, the game is definitely favoring Slang Bros. They haven't been able to take down any of the forts yet. The mid fort is very low, though. Both all the walls gone and just the overall pressure that they're able to exert. They have lane pressure in all 3 lanes. And once they get this Bruiser Camp, they're also going to just have those big beefy bruisers able to shove out this bot lane. They're going to pick up this shrine. Zimbo shouldn't be able to take this top shrine on their own. However, I believe with the rotation, they could try and get it to happen. Or alternatively, over on this bot side, Slang Bros could use this 4-on-3 advantage to just start pressing down this fort, especially with the bruiser camp that they're about to get. Okay, so it is restarting the game. But it does seem like Yurd is still here, so the game will go on. It is always so quiet when it's paused. I'm so used to there being music in the game. So much intensity coming out, but I guess we could take this moment to kind of look through the towns. Cursed Bullet, Riptire, Massive Shove. So we do have the Extendo Arm and not the Swipe coming out from the Stukov this game. And Earthquake picked up by Batman. So it's going to deal a little bit of damage. Going to be a big AoE slow. And especially onto the Vala, it's going to be pretty big. And look at this new build coming out with the new Vala talents. Fire at Will, Arsenal, just multi-shot going to be picked up and built around. And Frost Shot also going to be slowing extra. And the Hungering Arrow going to deal more damage. And Strafe. So no more Rain of Vengeance. And that follow-up stun was so hard to deal with and such a good ability. Able to kind of self-peel on top of already having the dash. And having a stun on top of that is just really crazy. The Strafe is going to be a very strong ultimate. There's not a lot of stuns from the side of Easy Blues and the Swarm. They do have the little doggos coming out from the Thrall, from Batman. I believe it's called the Feral Spirit. Yeah, the little doggos. Eternal Blue has a bit, but it's very unlikely they're going to be able to get that. As we are back into the game. The pause is now over. Bruiser Camp going to get finished off by Final Stand. And the Shrine does get pressured over by this top side. And Batman could consider shoving in with his Bruiser Camp, but Mouthful very good at dealing with it. But now this is where the real pressure is going to be coming in. Adventure going to take a lot of damage. Has to use the Cleanse. Riptire going to be used just to clear out this wave. Candy already back here. Jumping onto Sovereign, and they were able to get the taunt, and jumping back. And Sovereign taking so much DPS, isn't vulnerable. And they try to use the pushback, but Kalo not able to do it. They do have the sleep. And look at that. The multi-shot from Final Stand, able to get the final kill. And TZ and Candy both going down. Eternal Blue just trying to get whatever damage they can. And just like that, bot fort is gone. Level 13 talents hit, and the Dragon Knight is available. Mid fort also probably not going to last super long. Eternal Blue just throwing everything at the kitchen sink, preventing them from taking the shortcut to killing the fort. It will still go down. I have no doubt about that, but we'll be able to delay it at least. And it's actually pretty good to be able to delay it, because with that delay, they were able to kind of force the Dragon Knight to go over into this mid lane. Oh, as we do see, Canny gets knocked away again. They do know exactly which character is going to be able to DPS onto this Dragon Knight the heaviest. Now Eternal Blue once again, and Candy just trying to deal as much damage as possible to the Dragon Knight. Just kind of gets repeatedly kicked away. Because of mine, not going to be able to hit Adventurer back behind. Oh, but we do have a solo kill on the top lane. Batman was able to take down the Smeltle. That's going to be a little bit of pressure. And TZ able to get behind, but is scouted over by the ward with the Lunara. And I guess that's the second part of this team composition. They're able to have their flanks covered by the vision. And Concussive Mind not going to land onto anyone. Will get the taunt, and they're going to jump onto the Lunara. The Lunara is going to go down. In the meanwhile, they have the doggos onto Sovereign. Sovereign goes invulnerable. Just trying to stay in the zone. And will be able to blink over top. Now Batman trying to chase, but Sovereign is just too fast. Sorry, I don't really cast a lot of material, but the Sanctification is was definitely able to keep the Tyrael alive, and Batman still chasing. Looks to try and get something done, but won't be able to. But in the meanwhile, this siege camp is going to get collapsed upon. And last strides going on to TZ, not going to be able to get the kill. And Canny trying to DPS onto Zimbo, not enough damage. And look at that sleep, and the multi-shot landing onto everyone. The Wrecking Ball not going to land either, and now Zimbo is joining in. Kal-El going to go down. Extendo Arm not able to keep him alive. I think it was a good attempt. They did need to do something to get back into the game, but Slang Bros able to smash him back. They did steal the siege camp, but was deleted immediately and will give up a kill. So good attempt, but well played by Slang Bros to keep that in their favor. Now Eternal Blue just going to continue trying to shove this lane out. TZ already here. They do see Eternal Blue already take down a half HP, but Concussive Mine is going to be able to get him out of safety. And now Batman just going to start grouping with a team, and both teams are now starting to play a little bit more tightly. Like, all 5 members are always within range of each other. And as I say that, Batman runs away to go top, but still doesn't full commit. The Bruiser Camp is now starting to get stolen by the side of Slang Bros, and they will be able to finish this off. Batman is behind them, but will just hearth away. And with this pressure, with his Bruiser Camp, they should be able to just brute force this top lane forth. And look at that, double Bruiser Camp. In the meanwhile, they are looking for a kill, able to get the Groundbreaker. Gonna get cleansed away by Zimbo. And now Sovereign is also going to be here. Killa trying to push him into the wall, and the Groundbreaker will be used for the peel. Strafe thrown down by Final Stand. Final Stand able to just do so much DPS, and TZ taken down low, but is still able to survive. Batman still trying his hardest to clear out this top side. It will go down. Eternal Blue will help out, but very well played to be able to survive on that collapse coming out from Slang Bros. But that's still another Dragon Knight spawning. Kenny going to use a Curse Bullet and dealing so much damage to Adventure. Adventure getting kind of low. Trying to delay this, but the Dragon Knight will still go down. Kenny just immediately runs towards this mid lane. The wall is still available, so we'll have to burn through that before getting onto this fort. Breathes on it. The Flame Breath is dealing so much damage. And Final Stand. Oh, but they were able to get the pull onto Sovereign. And Sovereign takes so much damage. Forced to use a Sandification. So at least it's a big cooldown used. Now Batman trying to deal as much DPS as possible. They still have the Dragon Knight. Gonna knock away Kenny. And look at all that DPS. And the Tyrael is going to go down. But the passive going to take TZ very low as well. Hungering Arrow still chasing after. Dragon Knight is going to go down, so the keep will stay alive. And 1 kill goes back in favor of Easy Blues in the Swarm.
I have seen enough.
Now Final Stand is starting to group over in the spot side. Knows that the Bruiser Camp is here and wants to take it as soon as it's possible. Just because with that Dragon Knight still down now, with the pressure they were able to get it, they might be able to bring it down before Easy Blues in the Swarm gets there. But TZ is trying to get on top. Zimbo gonna be cleansed away, so the Groundbreaker is not gonna land. Riptire gonna be thrown in and just gonna be used to damage this Bruiser Camp. Takes the mage about half health, everyone else to about 75% HP. But 65-second cooldown, it's not too long cooldown, and there's really nothing to fight for the next little bit. So heads up play to just be able to clear it out. And if a fight was to break out, would have had the Riptire already in position. Now the Siege Camp also going to get cleared out by Easy Blues in the Swarm. But the pressure is coming out. Kenny going to get slowed. Hungering Arrow used as well. And now TZ also going to get slowed, but everyone is able to walk away before anything happens. Batman able to get a pretty huge shove out in this top side. And is slowly helping them soak to catch up in this XP. They are still a little bit over a level behind. So it is going to be hard for them to hit level 20s. Level 20s still full level away from Slang Bros as well. As the Concussive Mine is still available. Not going to be used quite yet. They're trying to deal as much damage. Concussive Mine going to be utilized there. Not going to land onto anything though. Kenny's still walking up. Trying to deal as many auto attacks as possible. But oh, Sovereign gets it. And Adventure is the one to get pulled back. Going to get taunted and killed. But everyone is so low on their side, and Riptire going to be used to just pull Final Stand away. And just like that, they're able to defend their keep yet again, able to get that 1 pick. They're not able to get more, so it's still just little victories for them, but these little victories do add up. And now Eternal Blue trying to pressure onto Urid, not going to be in range to dismount Urid. And now Sovereign going to take this shrine over to the bot side. And now Zimbo going to be matching Kenny. So it is still going to be defended. Kenny misses the cursed arrow, so that will be down for the start of this fight. But Batman is here, so it's a 2-on-1. The Bruiser Camp is getting finished off by Final Stand in the meanwhile, so just a temporary disadvantage for them as they do collapse, as they do get pressure elsewhere. But in fact, they were able to secure both of these shrines for a little bit. Zimbo is going to be here now. And Batman is fighting. Cleanse used by Zimbo. But now Batman is just going to get jumped upon. The Earthquake is used, but the last right going to get the kill, and Batman going to get picked off. And just like that, level 20 is hit by Slang Bros. They're able to have the 5v4 in their favor now. Kenny goes past the Bruiser camp. They don't even feel like they can take their own jungle camps this late into the game, because they know that the Slang Bros are going to come by and they're going to contest it, and they know they cannot win these fights when they're behind these levels. Gods of Mine going to be used just to delay it once again, trying to buy time. Adventurer going to pick up this bot side train. And in fact, sorry, they did have a kill, and Meltho goes down. Going to instantly respawn with that level 20 talent, but that's still a really good pick for them to get. And I believe once they finish off this wave, they will have the level 20s. But the side of Slang Bros will have the Dragon Knight. Third Dragon Knight for them this game, and there is no more wall. The keep is at a little bit over half HP, 2/3 HP, let's say. So should be able to just force it down unless they're able to force a fight on the side of Easy Blues on the Swarm. It is still 5v5. They were able to respawn over onto that Meltho. And Kenny, taking so much damage, actually almost gets killed, but gets knocked back into the base and actually speeds up the healing process. Now Batman trying to deal as much damage as possible with that E. But the Dragon Knight, once again, able to kick TZ into place, and they do have a little bit of position. Could choose to fight here. Kenny taking a lot of damage, and they're pushing for the core with this Dragon Knight. Able to get a lot of damage. Not a lot of health left on this Dragon Knight. Going to push TZ away once again. Just keep the kick away. But now everyone is respawned. The Dragon Knight is dead, but so is Batman. Last rights going to kill them. The Sanctification is used in the middle of it all. The Earthquake gonna be thrown out as well, but still not enough damage. The Strafe just dealing so much damage. Kalo gonna try and survive, but it's just Eternal Blue, and that's gonna be game number 3. Slang Bros able to take this 2-1 as they finish off the core. And once again, as soon as Slang Bros were able to get a lead, they were able to maintain the lead until they just absolutely ended the game. I kind of want to look at these damage numbers, and yeah, looks like Vala may have gotten nerfed in the Hungering Arrows build, may have gotten nerfed in the auto attack build, but the multi-shot build is still very much alive and is still very, very powerful. With that being said, that will be the end of today's stream. We managed to get that double header, and I'm really glad we did, because this second series was an absolute banger. Both teams really showing that they know how to play and that they're able to bring in the wins potentially for themselves. I would like to give a final shout out to afkjourney. Thank you very much for sponsoring this stream. Be sure to download for free. Link will be posted in the chat momentarily. And finally, I will be live again tomorrow with another broadcast. I'm going to be doing Division D East between Really Aggro Ghoul Elites and 30 Seconds to Mosh. It is almost the playoff season, so let's get excited. Every single one of these games matter. With that being said, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good night.